we're covering traction, distraction, and then the internal and the external triggers. Have we defined traction and distraction enough here?
Yeah, so we've done the first two steps. So mastering the internal triggers, making time for traction. The next step is to hack back the external triggers. So remember we talked about those two triggers that move us towards traction or distraction, the internal triggers and the external triggers. And there's nothing necessarily bad about these external triggers, right? An external trigger that prompts you to do something you plan to do is wonderful, right? I need my alarm clock to remind me it's time to hit the gym, right? I need that.
Yeah.
So they can be very useful. The question that I think a lot of people don't ask themselves is this one, that is this external trigger serving me or am I serving it? Because the fact of the matter is, look, I can tell you as an industry insider, we know these tech products are designed to hack our attention. But that doesn't mean we can't hack back. There are thousands of free tools that we can use to hack this technology to make it serve us as opposed to us serving it.
Yeah.
So simple things like changing your notification settings. 2/3 of people with a smartphone never change their notification settings. Really? Can we call technology addictive and hijacking our brains when we haven't taken 5 minutes to change the notification settings? That's kindergarten stuff. That's basic. I only spent about a page on that in the book.
Right. But I think most people, maybe they claim they don't know, but they should know. But you can go into your device and change all the notification settings, the badges, the beeps, the dings, the buzzes, what do you call it? Dings, pings, and
Things.
rings.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can go in there and disable that stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and we don't need all that stuff. Do you really need breaking news all day long to interrupt you with these notifications, with these badges? Why?
I would argue you don't need any news. But
And guess what? If you turn off Facebook, or even better, maybe uninstall it from your phone. So I love Facebook. I use it every day, but I use it on my schedule. There's literally time in my schedule for social media time, right? And so I don't need it on my phone. I use it at home on my desktop,
Right.
Not on my phone. I don't need it interrupting.
Which is a great hack, putting these things on your desktop.
Yeah.
Instagram on the desktop is really good as well because it's very addictive and easy on the phone, but if it's on your desktop, you kind of have to be intentional about it, right?
And the reason this is so powerful is twofold. One, you're not constantly tempted to use it throughout the day, right? Because Facebook is not on my phone, I'm not tempted to use it all the time. But two, it relieves that internal trigger, because we have this sensation of, ooh, if I don't check soon, maybe I'm missing something. When am I going to check it? When am I going to check it? Instead, I know exactly when I'm going to check it. It's on my calendar. It's time boxed. So that stress of, when am I going to have this time doesn't linger over me anymore. I know it's coming. Nothing to worry about. Time will come. And this is incredibly helpful with email as well. So many of us, we are checking email because of the fear that we are missing out on something.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's be honest. Email is someone else's agenda for your time. If you want to write an email, you can go ahead and write one on your notes on your phone, but email is almost always someone else's agenda for your time.
And we can also, the beauty, I'm no Luddite, I love technology, and the beautiful thing is what we see happening is that the second generation of technology is fixing the bad aspects of the first generation of technology. This reminds me of a quote by Paul Virilio, the philosopher. He said, when you invent the ship, you invent the shipwreck. And that's exactly what happens, right? When was the last time we've heard about a shipwreck? Almost never. Why? Because ships got a lot better. Right. We didn't stop using ships, right? We made them better. And so that's exactly what's happening with our technology. We shouldn't stop using these tools. They're wonderful. There's nothing wrong with them. We have to change the technology, adopt these new technologies that fix the last generation, as well as adapt our behaviors to make sure that we use them appropriately.
And we're seeing that now. I mean, I get notified on Instagram now when I'm 30 minutes in. We see screen time. I can't tell if they really want me to stop, but we're seeing them trying to do that. Any other ways that we can hack back?
Sure. So yeah, where do we start? So I talk about all these different environments, like hacking back email, hacking back group chat, hacking back meetings. Oh my God, what a terrible waste of time most meetings are. Hacking back the open office floor plan. This is a huge source of distraction. So
yeah, we have one here.
Okay.
You saw it. It's dangerous sometimes.
So it turns out
somebody from our video team the other day put out a message in Slack, which of course is another problem for hacking. And they said, because we're working on one of our documentary films, and they said, please do not distract the video team because we have a deadline and we have a screening tonight. So please do not come over and have meaningless conversations to us.
Yes.
So that was a perfect.
I got an even better solution.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So this solution I developed after I read a study about one of the leading causes of death in the United States. One of the leading causes of death, believe it or not, about 200,000 people a year are harmed by medication errors. Nurses giving patients the wrong medication or the wrong dosage of medication inside hospitals. Hundreds of thousands of people are affected every year by this. Wow. Most hospitals believe, it's just a fact of life. What are you going to do? Until a group of nurses at UCSF decided to tackle this problem and figure out why all these mistakes were happening. And it turns out the cause was distraction. That on average, when a nurse was dosing out their medication to the patients, they were distracted on average 10 times per dosing round. And the tragedy here is that
With
the nurse...
chit-chat, someone coming over and talking to them or whatever.
Another nurse, a colleague, a doctor, a patient would interrupt them during their dosing rounds.
Wow.
And the tragedy here is that the nurses didn't even realize they were making these mistakes until it was too late. Right? They thought they were doing a great job. Until later they said, oh my goodness, what did I just do? I could have killed somebody. Many times they did kill people because of this. So what did they do about this? What was the solution to this problem? These nurses who studied this problem found a solution that reduced prescription mistakes by 88%. 88%. They almost eliminated this problem. And the solution was not some multi-million-dollar program. It wasn't some fancy app or new technology. The solution was plastic vests. These sleeveless plastic disposable vests they wore that said, drug round in progress, do not disturb. It said on the front and back. This almost eliminated the problem. So what's the metaphor here for us as knowledge workers? Number one, just like those nurses who didn't realize they were making these mistakes, we do the same thing. We think we're doing a great job at work. We think everything's fine. Just like those nurses didn't realize the mistakes they were making. We don't realize how much better our performance could be if we worked in an indistractable fashion. The second lesson here is that we can do something very simple to hack back the open floor plan office. It's not going away. It saves us a ton of money to not have to give, for every company to give every office worker their own private office. Not going to happen. What we can do, however, is hack back the environment. How do we do that? Every copy of Indistractable comes with a screen sign. It's a piece of cardstock that's in the book. You rip it out of the book, you fold it into thirds, and you place it on your computer monitor. It says, it's a bright red sign with a stoplight on it, and it says, I'm indistractable, please come back later. I'm not saying leave it on your monitor all day, but for 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, however much time you need to do your focused work that you should have time boxed, that's when we let our colleagues know, hey, sorry, I can't be interrupted right now, I'll get back to you later. Very simple, very effective.
Super powerful. I'm going to get the red vest for everybody here.
There you go.
No, for sure. And I think it's hard. You'd say that to people and they'd be like, that sounds really crazy and draconian and all that. But how much of what we're doing just gets interrupted all the time with those mini distractions. They're like, oh, I just had one quick thing to ask you. But there's studies that show you need another 15 or 20 minutes to get back in the flow of what you were doing.
That's right. Even when we don't feel it, right? We think we're doing great.